green in the 1992 Chevrolet Corvette.
Hello, I'm Jim Perkins, General Manager of Chevrolet Motor Division. Congratulations. You made a great decision by choosing to purchase a new Corvette. You're now a part of a proud legacy of Corvette owners that spans 5 decades. This is the car that started it all, the 1953 Corvette. It debuted with an innovative fiberglass body and the 150 horsepower Blue Flame 6 under its hood, the most powerful 6-cylinder of its day. Corvette has changed a lot since 1953. With continuous refinement, its body has taken many distinctive shapes, and underneath, it has evolved into one of the most sophisticated sports cars in the world. At Chevrolet, we are committed to keeping the Corvette dream alive, from the car itself to the people who design and build it, and a dealer network that is specially trained and prepared to give you the quality service you expect. We are truly dedicated to your satisfaction. Every time you get behind the wheel of your Corvette, you can take pride in knowing that you've chosen one of the best. Thank you, and on behalf of the Corvette team, we wish you many miles of driving enjoyment.
In this video, you'll be treated to an in-depth look at the many facets of the Corvette experience. 4-time Indianapolis 500 winner Rick Mears and Corvette Development Manager John Heinrichsey put the 1992 models to the test in an extensive performance capabilities review. You'll see the technology and commitment behind the assembly of Corvette at the Bowling Green, Kentucky plant. There's a special how-to piece that will help you become more familiar with the features and controls on your car. Important information on how to care for Corvette is also included, along with a presentation by members of the Corvette engineering team on the technical highlights for 1992. You'll be in the middle of the action with Corvette race teams as they compete in the Sports Car Club of America's Escort World Challenge Series. And finally, you'll learn more about driving your Corvette from Rick Mears and John Heinrichsey.
Even for a guy who spends a lot of time driving Corvettes and racing them in the SCCA Escort World Challenge, I still get a kick out of this car every time I get behind the wheel. Hi, I'm John Heinrichsey, Development Manager for the 1992 Corvette. The excitement of driving a Corvette can hit you in many different ways. Its acceleration, handling, and braking are all extraordinary. In this program, we're going to demonstrate Corvette's performance characteristics, provide some insight into the design features that contribute to its performance, and most importantly, we'll give you a feel for what it can really do. And I don't know anybody who's better qualified to help me do that than 4-time Indy champ Rick Mears.
What you're going to see in this first demonstration is the outstanding straight-line acceleration capability of Corvette and ZR1. On the track with this new 300 horsepower LT1 engine, the 1992 Corvette will go 0 to 60 in just 4.92 seconds and run the quarter mile in 13.7 seconds, reaching over 103 miles per hour.
ZR1's LT5 engine develops 375 horsepower and on a test track clocks in at 4.3 seconds 0 to 60 and 12.9 seconds in the quarter mile. Now let's see that again from inside the cockpit. That's where I think you can best appreciate Corvette's performance.
What we can't do in a video is let you feel the sensation as you're pushed back in the seat. But trust us, it's not a feeling you forget.
There are many factors that contribute to a car's 0 to 60 time. The most important is its horsepower to weight ratio. The less weight your engine has to move, the better the performance is going to be. That's why motorcycles can accelerate so quickly. They're relatively light machines with powerful engines. On a 1992 Corvette Coupe, the horsepower to weight ratio is 1 horsepower for each 10.7 pounds of car. For the convertible, it's 1 to 10.9 pounds, and the ZR1 is 1 to 9.2 pounds. We use a significant amount of aluminum alloy on Corvette, including components in the front and rear suspensions and the powertrain. Along with its high strength, weight savings is one of the key benefits of incorporating aluminum in the design of a car. The lighter we make the car, and the more powerful we make the engine, the faster it's going to run 0 to 60.
Torque is what's important for the launch of the vehicle. To get a fast start in the acceleration demonstration you just saw, John revved up the engine to about 2,500 RPM before releasing the clutch. This allowed him to build up power on the flywheel to maximize his takeoff performance. With Corvette's automatic transmission, the torque converter clutch accomplishes the same thing, nearly doubling the amount of effective torque at takeoff. That capability shows in its performance. A Corvette with an automatic transmission will go 0 to 60 in 5.26 seconds, less than half a second off the manual.
Corvette's rear-wheel drivetrain also contributes to its takeoff performance. As you begin to accelerate forward, the balance of the weight is transferred towards the rear of the car. This creates downforce on the rear drive wheels, which results in more drive wheel traction than you would get from a front-wheel drive car that's shifting weight away from its drive wheels.
Another key performance attribute of Corvette and ZR1 is how fast they can stop. When you read performance reviews in buff magazines, a common way they measure braking performance is by the distance it takes the car to go from 60 to 0 miles per hour. With the standard four-wheel disc brakes, it takes Corvette only about 125 feet to go from 60 to 0 miles per hour on dry pavement.
The system uses 12-inch rotors all the way around and dual piston calipers in the front to ensure optimum braking performance. The ZR1 and Corvette Coupes with the Z07 performance package have a heavy-duty brake system with 13-inch front rotors. The heavy-duty performance brakes were first evaluated on the SCCA Escort Endurance cars, undergoing hundreds of hours of grueling testing and racing before they were used on production models. With these brakes, the heavier ZR1 can also stop from 60 to 0 in only 125 feet. Now let's move on to Corvette's handling characteristics. Lateral acceleration is one test of a car's handling ability. It's determined by the radius of the turn and the speed of the vehicle. The higher the lateral G number, the more side force the car can generate before losing adhesion to the road surface.
Corvette's tires, suspension design, front-to-rear balance, and low center of gravity all work together to optimize its lateral acceleration. Corvette's and ZR1's ratings speak for themselves.
How well Corvette holds on the skid pad is directly related to how well it will handle the road for you. The two components that influence Corvette's handling ability most are its tires and independent four-wheel suspension system. The tires on 1992 Corvettes have a new asymmetrical tread pattern. This design maximizes both wet and dry performance.
Corvette's front suspension is a wishbone design, a system that was first developed for race cars. And in the back, the independent setup uses a transverse-mounted fiberglass leaf spring. One of the biggest benefits of this four-wheel independent system is how effectively it adjusts wheel camber, which is the inward or outward tilt of the wheels as viewed from the front or the rear of the car. Allowing the wheels to tilt slightly helps the tires maintain a flat contact patch with the road. Sports cars are designed with stiff suspension to help minimize the amount of body pitch and roll during driving.
And while nobody will ever confuse the ride of a Corvette with that of a Cadillac Sedan DeVille, the selective ride control system available on Coupe and Convertible and standard on ZR1s does allow you to adjust the suspension for different needs.
After all, there are times when you prefer a softer ride.
Selective ride control is a computerized system that automatically adjusts shock absorber damping. The damping is regulated by an actuator that's mounted on top of each shock absorber. This actuator automatically adjusts the dampening rod between 6 different settings within each of the selective ride modes, touring, sport, or performance, depending on the speed of the vehicle.
When you're talking about handling, a car's weight distribution and center of gravity are important design characteristics. Ideally, you want to get as close to a 50-50 weight distribution between front and rear axle as possible. Corvette Coupe is 49-51. The Corvette Convertible is 50-50. And because of its heavier engine, the ZR1 has a 52-48 bias toward the front.
But this balance is only present when the car is sitting still. The dynamics of motion are always transferring the weight around, and that's why the center of gravity is so important.
The lower the center of gravity, the less weight transfer you're going to have from side to side when you corner, front to back when you accelerate, and back to front when you brake.
Corvette's center of gravity is only about 15 inches off the ground. Although this might make it a little tougher to get in and out of Corvette, the effort is certainly worth it.
For comparison, an Indy car's center of gravity is only about 12 inches from the ground. Balance, weight distribution, the center of gravity, the suspension, and tires all contribute to Corvette's handling. But what handling really means is the ability you have to control the car. And that's how Corvette impresses me most.
The demonstrations we've just shown tell a lot about Corvette's performance. But what counts most is how it all works together on the road. That's where you'll appreciate Corvette's capability too. It does everything right and helps you realize your full potential as a driver. In this segment, you'll be treated to an insider's look at the craftsmanship, care, and attention to quality that go into building Corvette at its Bowling Green, Kentucky assembly plant.
More than 3,500 components from the top suppliers worldwide converge in Bowling Green, Kentucky, where dedicated employees ply their trades, in a building that covers 1 million square feet and contains more than 7 miles of conveyors. These are the elements that work together to produce the 1992 Corvette, the world's premier sports car. The pride of Chevrolet comes together on the line at the Corvette assembly plant in Bowling Green, the only plant in the world charged with producing America's dream car.
If you think about the Corvette as the ultimate expression of automotive art, you'll watch the employees, each and every one takes a great deal of pride in the work that they do. They inspect their own work as well as the work of other people. They do that as part of the process to ensure that each and every Corvette that leaves this plant is as perfect as it can possibly be.
The building of Corvette is a deliberate, almost painstaking process. Each vehicle takes more than 5 days to build, and quality is foremost at every point along the assembly line. That quality begins with Corvette's rigid uniframe construction. 53 robotic welders produce its strong skeleton, applying more than 1,200 spot welds in a matter of minutes. Another 120 inches of precision welds are carefully done by hand. The uniframe acts as a steel cage, which provides structural integrity and contributes greatly to the vehicle's overall safety. The result is one of the world's most structurally sound sports cars. Belying the strength of the steel uniframe is another of Corvette's trademarks, its sleek fiberglass body. Before the fiberglass panels are installed, they're wiped with a special solvent that unmasks any hidden defects on the surface. The panels are then attached to the uniframe with adhesives applied by hand. The actual bonding is done by machine to ensure precise adhesion. 10 major panels are joined to the uniframe, including rocker panels, the deck-lidded halo, and the hood. Many of Corvette's body panels are lightweight fiberglass, allowing the coupe to maintain its trim curb weight of approximately 3,200 pounds. To ensure that the body panel assembly meets rigid design specifications, point check inspections are conducted regularly throughout the day. During these inspections, technicians use highly specialized instruments, checking body panels to guarantee that fit and alignment are exact on 3 different planes. Once the body is assembled and inspected for quality, the painting process begins. First, the body is prepared to provide a smooth surface. The painting is done with a combination of robotic and hand spraying, and each vehicle receives 6 coats of finish, 2 coats of primer, 2 coats of enamel base coat or color coat, and 2 coats of clear coat. The entire process takes approximately 14 hours per vehicle and culminates in a detailed inspection of every car. While its lustrous and durable body is assembled, the core of Corvette performance is simultaneously coming together. The car's chassis, drivetrain, and suspension are assembled at various points along the line. The independent rear suspension features a 5-link design, a glass epoxy monoleaf spring, limited slip differential, and many aluminum components. Like the rear suspension, the front suspension is also independent, utilizes many lightweight aluminum components and a monoleaf spring. It also features a tubular steel stabilizer bar and Bilstein shock absorbers. Once the front and rear subassemblies are complete, they're each joined to the engine and then the drive shaft. Performance has always been a Corvette benchmark, and that heritage is carried on in 1992. Coupes and convertibles are powered by a new 300 horsepower LT1 engine, built specifically for Chevrolet by GM Powertrain in Flint, Michigan. At the heart of the ZR1 beats a truly dominant engine, the LT5. Designed by General Motors in conjunction with Lotus and built by Mercury Marine in Stillwater, Oklahoma, the LT5 launches ZR1 down the road with an incredible 375 horsepower. With that kind of power, it's no wonder Corvette's interior resembles the cockpit of a fighter jet. The plant is also installing a quiet car package this model year. Corvette's slick body and sturdy chassis are then married, quite literally in fact, to form a nearly complete vehicle. At the marriage area, the body slowly drops down from above to be mated with the chassis. The two are joined at 14 separate contact points to assure a perfect match. Wheels and tires are also married, so to speak, at another location within the plant. Corvette's Goodyear GSC asymmetrical tires are teamed with directional 17-inch aluminum wheels and then perfectly mounted and balanced. First, there's the uniformity machine, which simulates the tire on the road, checking for tire integrity to avoid future and unwanted vibrations. The Bowling Green plant is unique in that it checks 100% of its tires for uniformity. Next is the dynamic balance, which determines exactly how much weight should be added to the inner and outer flanges of the wheel and precisely where the weight should be placed. And finally, the static balance, where the weights are double-checked to within 1/4 ounce of accuracy. Once the wheels are ideally balanced, they're ready to be mounted on the vehicles. At the startup area, gasoline is added to the tank, the fuel pump is turned on, the system is primed, and each Corvette is fired up for the first time. Now the car is ready to roll. The end of the assembly line marks the first time Corvette's tires touch the ground. Vehicles are driven off the line and over a series of speed bumps to help settle the front and rear suspensions. All four wheels are precisely aligned, contributing to Corvette's responsive handling. Then, because Corvette owners demand perfection, the vehicles undergo an extensive battery of quality checks and performance tests. There's the sonic test that checks critical seals to see if sound escapes from the passenger compartment. The water test, which douses the car from several angles to check for possible leaks. And for many of the vehicles, the dynamometer, to ensure engines are functioning correctly and to measure their emission levels. All this is done to provide Corvette buyers with an ownership experience unmatched by lesser vehicles.
Corvette Action Center, Jerry.
Part of that experience includes customer assistance at the factory. Enter the Corvette Action Center.
There's a feature that allows you to operate your power windows or your radio for up to 15 minutes after the...
Located in the plant, the Action Center answers approximately 150 product-related questions per day. Of course, your local Chevrolet dealer should always be your first source of expertise. However, if your dealer is unable to answer your question, you can reach the Corvette Action Center at area code 502-745-8101 or 1-800-457-VETT. They're open for business Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. until 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Structural integrity, remarkable power, ultra-high quality, seductively attractive. The world's most distinguished sports car, built for the world's most discerning buyers.